Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Brandon About Everything. I'm Brandon, and I'm interested in everything. Today I want to talk about God and creation. So this is all just my understanding. I am sure that I get some stuff wrong because I'm human and I will make mistakes. So there's no claim of being perfect here. God is the totality. God is the infinite. God is the everything. God encompasses everything. The thing about knowing either yourself or something else is you always know things in relation to what they're not. So I know that I'm male because there are lots of females around. I know that I'm brown-haired, brown-eyed, white-skinned because there are people that have other varieties of those. If everybody in the world, all humans, had white skin, brown hair, and brown eyes, we would just have skin, hair, and eyes. But I know that I have brown eyes because other people have blue, green, hazel, whatever. I know that I'm tall because I'm not short. I know that I'm lean because I'm not fat. I know that I'm here because I'm not there. I know that I'm this role in society because I'm not any other role in society. So, yeah, you always know something through knowing what it is not. So, God, being everything, does not have any relation to everything else because God is everything. So, in order to experience God's self, God exploded in the Big Bang and created the physical universe. And I believe created all possible physical universes, but at least created this one. That means that every atom, every molecule, every living being, every bit of wind, every sun, every star, every planet, everything is a glimmer, an aspect of God. And that is when the Bible says that God made man in God's image, since God doesn't have a physical image, I believe what that means is that man is made to be a creator the way that God is a creator, or at least in an analogous manner to the way that God is a creator. So that humans have consciousness, but arguably a lot of other animals, well, at least a few other animals, dolphins, some primates, maybe some corvids or parrots, other cetaceans. There's a few animals that might, dogs and cats. There's a few animals that might indeed have some measure of consciousness analogous to what we have. But what sets us apart from all of these other animals is an opposable thumb. Oof, my hand's dirty. An opposable thumb. And that means that we can manipulate the universe. We can manipulate our world. We can reach out, touch it, change it, shape it. And that makes, those two things combined are what set us apart. Raccoons, they might be coming up behind us with both of them maybe soon, but nevertheless. So, humans are, I believe that the Bible is a synthesis of, it is God's effort to explain God's self to humanity. And God does not change. I do not believe that God changes. But because we are constantly changing, our relationship to God and our understanding of God is constantly changing and evolving. That does not mean that God is changing and evolving. It means that our understanding of God or our relationship with God is changing and evolving. So God attempts to come down and establish a relationship through the Ten Commandments, establishing essentially, amongst other principles, the principle of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And so, though that was a huge update, it was a huge improvement versus where humanity had been before that. However, there needed to be an update to that. And that was Jesus, the Christed one. Jesus came down. I believe that Jesus was human, and that Christ descended upon Jesus. The Christed consciousness descended upon Jesus at the time of John the Baptist's baptism of Jesus in the that other river, Jordan, the River Jordan. And when Jesus was baptized, that was when the Christed consciousness descended upon Jesus. The Christed consciousness is, I believe, the mediation, the connection between humanity and the divine. So, in other words, in the Bible, where it's Jesus, the Christed one, says, "No man can come to the Father except through me. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father except through me." The way that I would interpret that is not that Jesus is saying this, first of all, but it's the Christ. And the Christ is saying, for the Christed consciousness is the way, the truth, and the life. No human can access the divine without going through the Christed consciousness. That is our portal to our connection to the divine. So, yeah, that is my Christology. And Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek. Also, very importantly, and very uniquely amongst the Abrahamic faiths, the three major Abrahamic faiths, Christianity brought about a separation of church and state. That whole render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's. And that's critical, because when you combine religion and the state, you very often get a very, very oppressive form of religion, and it zaps the vitality of the religion. So it makes it a dry, dead religion, not a spiritually rich religion. Our modern world tends to see religion as just the dry, dead variety, but also when religion is vibrant and vital and alive, it's definitely going to still be religion, but just a lot more spiritual and vital. So, yeah, I think that's enough for my first little rant onto this topic. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you're blessed.